Have you seen this video? I know you're here to see it. That's why I decided to bring it to you. First things first. There are a lot of Chinese people in Nigeria, and you don't see them if there is nothing interesting about your nation. Americans and Europeans sucked Africa, and they labeled Africa poor and a third world continent. Why China saw the potential of Africa and they came with heavy investment to develop Africa. Please correct me if I am wrong. Now, seeing this, the Europeans and the Americans tried, anyway, they are still trying, okay, to label China as the bad guy. But we Africans, we have our awakening. China has a heavy presence in Africa for over 20 years, and they have transformed many cities through their trade agreements as well as their infrastructural projects, which offers Africa a chance to develop our economies. In the early years between 2009 through 2014, America and Europe invested in Africa. However, from 2016 through 2021, there were little to no investment. Instead, they sucked from Africa. American investors in Africa were withdrawing more money from Africa than they were putting in. Now, let us talk about Nigeria. Chinese companies have built many infrastructural projects in Nigeria. Let us briefly state them. We're talking about the Lekki Deep Sea Ports, the Lekki Ports, the Ogun International Parks, the Lekki Industrial Parks, Abuja Rail Mass Transit, Lagos Ibadan Standard Gauge Railway, Kano Railway, via Maradi, Zungeru Hydro Power Plant, Abuja Metro Line, National Data Center in Kano. There are so many projects awarded to China. Although they have some efulefus that entered Nigeria to illegally mine our natural and mineral resources. And whenever we get them, we deal with them. Now so they work here. So yes, we know the real investors in Africa. There is this Chinese talking about Nigeria. Listen guys, he is sarcastically funny. However, he passed a strong message and also educated us on some things that you and I probably didn't notice until now.
So I know that a lot of people don't have maps, and so this is Africa. And Africa is not a country, it's a continent made up of many countries. And these white lines represent borders. Australia, don't try to sniff them, okay? And this border wraps around a country called Nigeria. And I haven't been to Africa yet, but Nigeria is my favorite country in Africa. And the reason for this is because at my last job, I worked with a couple of Nigerian guys, and they were the nicest people I have ever met in my life. And so because of those two, I believe that everyone in Nigeria is an angel. So when I saw that Nigeria released this Korean-inspired movie called My Sunshine, I was personally touched. I was so touched to see such a beautiful union between Asia and Africa. But then reading through the comments, I saw so many of the other Africans make fun of Nigeria, and it hurt. I took it personally. I was like, no, leave Nigeria alone. No wahala! Then I was subsequently called out by all the Africans, including Nigerians by their own self-admission, that Nigeria is actually the bully of Africa. And honestly, that makes me like them more. You see, my family comes from a country called China, which is this big landmass right here. And China is the bully of Asia. Because sometimes we like to do this thing where we're like, that little island over there, I think that's ours. And then the other countries will be like, wait, why is it yours? And we'll be like, well, if you look at this scripture that was written like 4,000 years ago, it says that is technically part of China. And so that's ours. So bullying is in my blood, and I resonate deeply with bullies. And so I thought we could use the rest of this video to go around the world and identify where all the other bullies are. Now, Europe is easy because the bully is obviously France, and I know the Brits are like, oh, thank God it's not us. Oh, bitch, you were fucking close. You were a very, very close second. But the French just had to be a little bit more audacious. Southeast Asia, I know very well because I am actually kind of popular in this little tiny country right here called Singapore, which like you can barely see. And I'm actually even more popular in Singapore than Australia, but it's not as noticeable because they're just not as loud. And as someone who is very popular in Singapore, I also know that Singapore is the bully of Southeast Asia, a small country with a lot to say. And oddly enough, they actually have a very similar accent to Nigerians. Coincidence? I don't know. In South America, there is pretty unanimous agreement that the bully is Argentina. And I have been told that it's because there's a lot of white people in Argentina, and say no more. Say no more. As someone who has been dating someone of European descent, I believe you. I don't even need to see the evidence. It's definitely Argentina. I think Australia is pretty self-explanatory because when you look between these two countries, the bully is obviously Melbourne! Obviously it's Melbourne because they think they're so much better than everyone else. What has New Guinea done to Yar? Huh? And last but not least, we have North America. And obviously the bully here is me, Canada. And honestly, I don't even really understand why all these other countries have this one-sided beef with us. Why are they so obsessed? I don't even get it. Why do all these countries have the exact same thing to say about us? It's literally xenophobia. And every time they need help from us, they come crawling back to us like, help me, help me.
Dear brothers and sisters, I didn't know that other countries wrapped around Nigeria. I know our position is the trigger. However, this is new. Again, I want to ask, what is this attack all about? Just the same attack here and there. When Nigerians are being praised, it's like other Africans are happy that our image was painted black, of which they contributed 70% of such propaganda. And our own people use their own hands to destroy their name because of their timid and irrational political affiliation and tribalism. Thank God that many Nigerians have woken up. How on earth did some group of people find it hard to mind their businesses, especially daft and mentally demented people from two major African nations? That's why many foreign content creators end up battling with them. A foreigner who came out to praise Nigeria will always face backlash from these Ghanaians and South Africans because of their pettiness. Even the so-called Nigerians that currently speak against Nigeria online are mostly imposters because they are petty. They can frame anything or anyone just to pass a message or to ridicule themselves. I know there are South Africans that are nice, yes. There are Ghanaians that are sensible and nice, yes. But the few of the people from these nations that are petty are louder. That's the problem. No wonder majority of them are clueless. They don't mingle. They are not exposed. And they are mostly timid. This guy here disappointed them all. The fact that you called Nigeria the bully, instead of turning him away, drew him closer like a magnet.
I just saw a video now where someone was calling Nigeria the bully of Africa. To be honest, I don't think we are the bullies. We don't start the fight. People bring the fight to our doorstep, and then we defend our doorstep and we win. So how will you call someone who defends their own the bully? You get, I do not see that.
You can't stop Nigeria, bro. You can't stop Nigeria, says. Nigerians are stronger. Stop wasting your time. So many of you are irritating when you enter people's comment section to drag Nigerians. Learn to mind your own growth. But no, anyway, the world have moved on. Keep dragging Nigeria and Nigerians in vain. As for the self-destructive Nigerians, how far? How on a day? Majority of you swore to defend Nigeria simply because of politics. You better grow up. Move on. Election is over. Join the train on how to make Nigeria better. Use your energy to drag our dirty and corrupt politicians with only facts and not propaganda. Yes, I advocate for that. Drag dirty politicians. Call them out if you have solid facts, because that is the only way some of them will do the needful. Stop attaching emotions to these politicians simply because they promised Nigeria or your people or your state heaven on earth. These politicians are not enemies amongst themselves, so make I tell Ona. They are game players, and the only way to win is to play dirty. If you like, get emotionally attached to them. You will end up driving yourself off the cliff. Dear Nigerians, that nation is ours. We are the best. Let the others come after us. Do you know that the more they throw tantrum against Nigeria, the more we become popular?
Walking down the streets, feeling the breeze, in the sunshine state where dreams come with ease. Palm trees swaying with the ocean in view. This is the place where I always feel brand new. Sipping on a smoothie, chilling by the shore. Got my shades on, feeling like I can't be ignored. Sun-kissed skin, feeling so alive in the soft rap game. I strive to thrive. Waves crashing on the sand as I ride the vibe. Soft rap flowing, let the rhythm collide. I'm the king of this groove with the catchy hook. Got the ladies moving and the fellas shook. Just down the boulevard with the top down low. Music blasting loud, feeling the flow. Neon lights flicker in the night's embrace. Lost in the moment, in this rhythmic chase. Catching glances of strangers as I pass me by.